Hello there, my name is Luciano Oliveira. I am a Brazilian attorney, and today I'm going to be answering this question. What are the potential risks associated with transferring large sums of money to Brazil, and how can I mitigate them? Well, if you're sending large sums of money, you are usually going to use banks. So you have a bank-to-bank transaction, which is all in all pretty solid. In our experience, the two main risks are you sending money to a scammer, right? Or if you're sending money without enough documents to have the money released at the end. Okay, in terms of scammers, we've seen many different scams, and unfortunately there's a lot of scammers in Brazil. Some most common ones are like the fake boyfriend or girlfriend. It's difficult to explain how people believe they are in a relationship without even seeing the person or from so far away, but that happens all the time, and people end up sending money to a scammer who may not even be in Brazil. Okay, it's unfortunately it's common for scammers to be in another country, but they use a picture of a beautiful lady and they say, "Oh, I'm a Brazilian lady, and send me some money. I am in a difficult situation over here." And then the first citizen is going to send money, send 500 and then later 2,000. And when they realize, they are like asking their banks for a loan to help someone out, someone who's not even the person they think this person to be, right? So this is a pretty common fraud. There is also the loan fraud. I don't know how, people even in the US, they think they can get a loan in Brazil, a cheap loan in Brazil. But there is a lot of people who are, being caught in this scam. They say, the scammer says, "Oh, you know what, we're gonna provide you $100,000 loan or a $200,000 or $500,000 loan or even $1 million loan as long as you pay the upfront costs." And then they're going to ask you for $5,000 for this, $15,000 for something else, $30,000, and eventually this person or this company going after this loan that doesn't exist, you have spent like a ton of money, and only then they are going to ask for legal help and realize it was a scam all along. Okay. So this is the main risk. I mean, if you're sending money to someone who you don't know, don't be naive, right? I mean, unfortunately, there are a ton of scams out there. If the thing doesn't sound like true, probably it's not true. Be like 100% sure you are sending money to the right person. You have a legitimate transaction, and only then send your money. So this is the first risk. The second one, when sending money to Brazil, particularly large sums, you need to have very strong paperwork supporting a transaction. So if you're buying a property in Brazil, you're going to need to provide the deed, contract. You're going to need to provide, proof of source of funds for the buyer, W-2, bank statements, tax returns, and not only for the buyer but for the seller as well, which is surprising. Like for Brazilian sellers, like they are not used to sell to foreign citizens. So when we are handling the currency exchange, when we are advising on the currency exchange for such sellers or for the buyers, usually that comes as a surprise. Why? I am the seller, I own the property, why do I need to show my tax return? But that's a requirement from the currency exchange banks and commercial banks alike. So we need to follow that, to have the money released. And unfortunately, some people, they send the money first and then they learn about all of those difficulties only later on, but then it's too late, right? And they get entangled with the compliance department, which could hold this money for days or even weeks. And if the bank doesn't get the documents that they want to have, they may even send the money back to the source. And the problem here is, like, let's say if you are in a contract for the purchase of real estate and you don't perform, right, like you miss the deadline, you could be liable for up to 10% or even more of the amount for this property. That's customary in Brazil. Buyer doesn't perform or the seller doesn't perform, there is a penalty of 10% of the total amount for the property. So you don't want to be in that position. Our recommendation is talk to a currency exchange expert first and only then sign a contract, right? Like, I mean, it's surprising how many people or how many clients they come to us only after they are in a really bad place. So before you get to that really bad place, ask for a consult. A consult is cheap and you can get the information you need to avoid such mistakes and to get what you're looking for in the most safe and effective manner. I hope this was helpful. If you have specific questions about this theme, feel free to write your question down below. Follow us for more tips on currency exchange, and I hope to see you in our next video.